Yay! Guess what's happening? I don't know if you can tell. Not very subtle, is it? Yeah, it's our 50th episode. Woo! And we decided to do something a little bit more frivolous today. You know, it's coming up to summer, so I thought I'd give you a few ideas for some party drinks. Yeah, bit bored of wine at the moment. I just need to have a nice, nice party drink. So I'm going to show you 3 cocktails you can make this summer. Some probably aim more at a student-y kind of audience, and other a bit more sophisticated, I suppose. But in the substrate of talking about cocktails, we're going to talk about rum. More specifically, we're going to talk about spiced rum. Okay, so we're going to make 3 drinks, and I'll tell you what drinks we're going to cover. So, first of all, a lovely shout out to Mr. Barry Halstead, who is Global Ambassador for this amazing product. Check out that branding, isn't that amazing? And it's the Bumbu Rum Company. Before you start sniggering and have any silly ideas about the name, this is actually something which comes from recipes which they discovered from the 16th century, where rum probably wasn't made quite as well as it is now. So they used to add all sorts of herbs and spices, which is really the origin of your spiced rum. I know my wife likes spiced rum, no you don't. All those spice rums that have come since, Morgan spiced, probably famous ones you know about, Sailor Jerry, which I'll come on to in a minute. What else is there? There's Kraken rum as well, which has got the big... They've all got some naval tiki theme. This whole kind of Hawaiian, Polynesian sailboat, lots of tattoos kind of thing going on. So spice rum really is a kind of a naval classic in many ways. And this stuff is... It's hard to put it in any other terms. It's to die for. And it's in some ways quite criminal not to drink it as a shot, 'cause it's so delicious. It's like drinking banoffee pie. You can taste vanilla, coffee extract, almost a chicory note. You can taste banana in waves. It's absolutely delicious. So we're going to be making a drink out of that momentarily. Also, as I mentioned before, Sailor Jerry. Sailor Jerry actually was a guy called... was it Nigel Collins or Neil Collins? He was known as Sailor Jerry, but he was actually a very famous tattoo artist who died. It was Norman Collins, that's right. He died in 1973, and he used to have a famous tattoo parlour in Honolulu, in Hawaii, and passed away in 1973, right, sadly. But he's an absolute legend. And when you see the famous sort of like I Love Mum Navy tattoos, they're really based all on his artwork, and he's an artist. There's no other way of looking at it. Yeah, and also I've got a nice little rum, which isn't actually spiced, but is perfect for these kind of things. A super smooth rum, Don Papa. Really to explain that rum can come from almost anywhere. Don Papa comes from the island of Negros, which is a part of the Philippines. And it's a Filipino, very smooth, aged for quite a long time, for 7 years, in wood. It's column stilled rather than being put in a pot still like a whiskey, so it doesn't have all the like a fiery terpenes and funk. It's very, very smooth and slick, and makes a pretty nice drink, which I shall be doing in due course. Right, so what should we start with? I think we'll start with a shout out to our friend Georgie Radev, don't you think? From Lucky Cane. Lucky Cane is an amazing tiki bar on, is it Upper Street, Emma? Yeah, Upper Street, near the Angel. And he did this early in lockdown, and I think I'd like to reprise it because it works so well, and it's a lot of fun, and you're going to think it's really weird. A whole bottle of Sailor Jerry spice rum, just shade over 20 quid in your local Londis, was put into this pot with these Gummy Bears. We put a whole bag of Gummy Bears in here, steeped it overnight. The Gummy Bears get big and slimy and delicious. I wouldn't advise you give them to the kids, because I think after about 5 Gummy Bears you're drunk. But absolutely delicious, and you can use them in other cocktails. What I did then was strain it off and just into a jar like this. So this is Gummy Bear flavoured Sailor Jerry rum. Okay. All this needs really to make it into a cocktail, because there's so much flavour going on there. It's such a party flavour. Is some ice, some acidity to check the sweetness, so we're going to use some lemon, and then we're just going to top it up with some White's lemonade, more ice, bada bing. So without further ado, let's make one. Okay, so we're just going to get a regular glass. That'll do. Okay, we're going to put some ice in there. I've got a scoop for this. Okay. Apparently I'm going quite fast. Okay, so I'm just going to put some ice in to start with. we're going to pour in, because remember it's still Sailor Jerry. Might taste like it came from the sweet shop, but it is still a rum. So I'm going to put in 50 mils of that chappy in there. We're going to use, where's my knife? I'm going to use the juice of half a lemon, because it's pretty sweet stuff, so that will check it nicely. Use a Mexican elbow. This is actually for oranges, as you can see, because it's orange in colour. But we're going to use a lemon. There we go. I'm now going to stir that a little bit. And put some more ice in. I suppose you could garnish it with Gummy Bears, couldn't you? There we go. Ooh. And then what I'm going to do is use just regular lemonade. One of the few things I don't like from Schweppes is their lemonade. I don't like Schweppes lemonade, so I use R White's. It's my favourite, regular, easily available brand. You can go posh if you wanted, but it's not like we started posh, is it? Fill that to the top. Maybe another splash of rum on top as a float. Like that. And then a bit of a garnish. How are we going to garnish this? We're going to use Emma's 50th anniversary crazy straw. Sodding grey umbrella. There we go. Tell me what you think. There we go. That's our first cocktail. The Gummy Bear Spritz, courtesy of Georgie Radeff. Thanks very much, mate, from Lackey Cane near Islington. Tasty? Lovely. Good. Right, so that's number one. Number two, we're going to go and make... What was I going to do for the second cocktail? I was going to make... oh, yes. This is something that sort of came from meeting friends judging in South Africa at wine competitions, where I met a friend who drives us around called Karel van der Merwe. Shout out if you're watching, sir. And a very, very popular drink with South Africans on holiday is called an R&R. We often, Em and I, stay at a guest house, sort of like a hostel, on the wonderfully cool Kloof Street in the north of the city quarter of Cape Town. And you can hear people ordering R&Rs everywhere. What does an R&R stand for? Rum and raspberry, mate. Rum and raspberry. So it's rum, in fact, a quite cheap South African red rum, which is actually coloured red, mixed with raspberry-ade from Spar, which is called Sparberry. We're going to pimp this up a little bit and make a much more sophisticated drink, or I'm going to attempt to anyway. So first of all, we're going to start off with a very nice, very smooth, vanilla-y column rum. Don Papa, thank you very much to Clementine Productions for sending this in to me. I've been dying to use this. Okay, so we're going to put in full strength shot. Like that. Then, I'm going to put in a few raspberries. Nice juicy raspberries this time of year. And use my muddling stick, sorry, bottle of Worcester sauce. Just squish it up a bit, like that. This is simple. Okay, brush ice again. Sticking together. There we go. By the way, you can buy crust ice in Sainsbury's now. Isn't that wonderful? There we go. Ooh, not very crushed. It's all freezing together, unfortunately. There we go. But just because you're not a world-class mixologist doesn't mean you can't make some really fun drinks at home. Put the lump out of the way, I think. There we go. That was the culprit. There we go. And we'll fill it with some more in a minute. Now, what we're adding to this, because already we've got quite a rich, quite sweet rum. This is ice cold soda water out of the fridge, which I'm going to fill up to about there. Then add a little bit more ice, and then come on to the secret bit, the clever bit. There we go, right to the top. I made a raspberry syrup. 2 parts sugar, 1 part water, punnet of raspberries in a pan, warm it up, don't boil it, stir it around a bit, leave it overnight, and then sieve it. And you end up with this delicious stuff, which I'm now going to... Oh, I'll take the top off, there we go. Drizzle around there. Nearly too full. There we go. In fact, I might. Where's that straw? I might suck some of it out. Cool, that's lovely. There you are. Joe Wadzak's refined rum and raspberry. Now, what you'd normally do for a garnish with this is I would get a bit of lime. Oh, there we go. Just put it in the top like that, and then just garnish with a few more raspberries. There we go. I think that's nice, darling. Try my rum and raspberry. Okay, so that's a very popular South African drink. I hope the Saffers out there enjoyed that one. And we're moving on now to kind of the pièce de résistance. Oh, by the way, can't have a conversation about flavoured rums without remembering Stiggin's Fancy Pineapple Rum from Plantation, which is absolutely amazing. It's the daddy. It's on a different level, really, but Bumbu is an absolutely delicious drink too. What do you think?
Wonderful.
Isn't that nice?
Really
not as sickly, not as tacky. We've actually made that into quite a smart drink, I think. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is ask Emma to pass me a glass, a little shot glass, and I'm going to let her have a taste of this, because this is really the way you should be drinking this. It's about 35%, but I've got a feeling the alcohol level is going to change soon. But it's made from all sorts of fantastic Caribbean rums. I don't know what the ingredients are. I've been trying to look it up, but there's obviously a smell of sort of caramel and banana and vanilla, and it's just quite delicious, isn't it? Cheers, darling. That's the way you should drink it. Happy 50th show! Oh, by the way, I'm 50 as well. Right at the beginning of lockdown. Turned 50 years old. So this is sort of a mini party, I suppose. Okay, so let's make a strawberry daiquiri. Now, the first time I had a strawberry daiquiri, I was in a very famous bar, which is no longer the bar that it was, called the Met Bar on Park Lane, where one of the first superstar bartenders, Ben Reed, was working behind the bar. I was invited into the bar, which was impossible to get into at the time, and I think it might have even been my 30th birthday. And the guy asked me what I wanted to drink, and I'm in one of the best cocktail bars in the world, and I didn't know what to drink, so I looked down the bar, and there was Noel and Liam Gallagher, and I waited to see what they were going to order, and they went, yeah, pint of lager, please, mate, pint of lager. So I thought, no, I'll wait for somebody more sophisticated. Then Paul Weller stepped up and said, I'll have a strawberry daiquiri. So I thought, strawberry daiquiri, if it's okay for Paul Weller, it's okay for me. This is how easy it is to make a strawberry daiquiri. Okay, right. Daiquiris, margaritas, they all have the same set. You need spirit, you need an alcohol, then you also need sour and sweet. In this case, I'm going to use 50 mils of liquor to 20 mils of lime juice to 10 mils of gum syrup. If I was using simple syrup made at home, which is 1-to-1 sugar, I'd probably use twice as much, so it's 20 and 20. But this is gum syrup, £2 at Sainsbury's, lasts a long time, so you don't need much. Right, so without further ado, you need to put some nice, delicious, plump, English strawberries into your cocktail shaker or your glass. A bit more, actually. Give it a proper bosh, like that. It doesn't take much to destroy a strawberry, but there we go. Now we're going to use some Bumbu. This could be delicious, this is. So, a little splash extra. There. Okay, Bumbu in. Now get my lime Mexican elbow, which is a smaller one. Squeeze in half a lime, is about 20 mils. Should be enough. Okay. And then I'm going to put in about 10 mils of gum syrup. About 2 teaspoons. Put in there like that. Okay. This time I'm not going to use shaved ice because it melts too fast. So the other thing that Sainsbury's is now selling, sorry, they didn't pay me to say this, proper ice, oversized ice cubes, which is brilliant for cocktail making, because when you shake it, they don't dissolve as fast, so you end up with a much more concentrated drink. Okay, get my tin, put it over the top, shake for England. You can tell when it's cold enough because your hands start to freeze to the pan. Right, martini glass, we've had some ice in it. I'm going to now make a garnish of a strawberry. Like that. Now I'm going to double strain this so you don't get all the strawberry pips, smashed up bits of ice. Makes for a much smoother drink. So I'm going to strain this through a tea strainer as well. There's quite a lot of pectin in strawberries, so it gets quite thick, which is one of the reasons why it makes such a nice drink. There we go. Maybe I should have cleaned the strainer after the last one I made. Ah, it's taking its time. I might just do this instead. There we go, that will work. All the straw, it's all the pips, you see. Yep, plugs up the tea strainer. But you can see that it's got a lovely, perfect pink colour. There's no bits of ice in it, that's all left in the strainer. And you don't have any of the pips either. So there we go. That's pretty much one of my favourite drinks in the world. There you go, Hammer. Yeah. So there you have it. 3 fun, easy drinks you can make literally sitting on a tiny little stool in your living room with kitchen appliances, bottles of Liam Perrins. Yeah, thank you very much, Emma. Thank you very much, everyone who has supported me in this endeavour. Thank you very much to Cube Communications, without which I would never have got off my backside to do this. But we'll be seeing you next week for episode 51. Thanks very much. Bye.